Hey, hi guys. It's your faculty Ranganathan SVN Kondala from Unacademy. Now I'm continuing the history current affairs 2023, especially for your prelims 2023. Now, do watch the previous two videos that we've already done, part 1 and part 2, where I've discussed some of the important topics for your prelims 2023, and we're continuing the discussion today. Now, recently in the newspaper, Taj Mahal had been in news a lot. Now, Taj Mahal, obviously, most of you do know, it's a very important wonder of the world, a dedicated gift of Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan to his wife Mumtaz. And see, Taj Mahal is in reality actually a mausoleum of white marble built by Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan in memory of his wife Mumtaz Mahal. In fact, Taj Mahal is generally, many historians consider Taj Mahal to be the climax of Mughal architecture. In fact, the pinnacle of Mughal architecture, the ultimate, the final phase. It's actually an earthly replication of Jannat or heaven. It stands on the banks of River Yamuna. The construction of Taj Mahal was completed within a period of 17 years, starting 1631, and it goes up until 1648. Now, Taj Mahal is a brilliant representation of pinnacle of Mughal architecture and Mughal grandeur. There's one speciality about Taj Mahal. See, in Taj Mahal, we see certain important aspects. For example, arabesque technique, the leafy vegetal technique of this design. This very visible here, leafy vegetable design. The second part that we observe is Petra Dura. Now, the Petra Dura is a technique unique again to Shah Jahan's period and in fact Noor Jahan's period. Petra Dura is a technique where the walls of the monument, like even in Taj Mahal, the wall of the monument is imbibed or inscribed with precious stones. With precious stones. Okay, so Petra Dura technique. One speciality of this. Now, Petra Dura, very visible in Taj Mahal, and Taj Mahal also was constructed in Char Bagh style, Char four Bagh gardens like this. Four gardens on the four sides. It's basically earthly representation of heaven, as seen in even in Persian architecture. We see this is the monument, and there are four gardens on four sides, and in the center of the monument is Mumtaz Shah Jahan buried. So, apart from using marble from Makran, or the designs unique to Mughal and also inculcating every available design structure, doubled the large, huge marble domes, precious stone, gemstones, calligraphy, stylized handwriting, arabesque, every aspect or every beautiful aspect about the Mughal architecture has been inscribed into Taj Mahal. And Taj Mahal has recently been in news also for its Jali technique. Jali basically means a net. So in Central and South Asia, distinct architectural feature. Jali is basically like a meshwork. The stone or the marble itself is carved to look like mesh, like a steel mesh or a stone mesh. So the intention remains basically to provide relief or cooling through Venturi effect in a similar way of an air conditioning unit. When air passes through these holes, it picks up velocity and penetrates much farther. Due to smaller apertures, the air gets compressed, and when it gets released, it becomes cooler. So now there is the Jali network is done in such a way, the Jali construction is done in such a way that the air remains in circular motion. In circular motion. Okay. Now, there's also one aspect in current affairs that you need to know about Taj Mahal. Few years back, Taj Mahal was very popular due to one of the projects taken up by government of UP called the Taj Trapezium Zone. This was basically a case. A case was also fought, MC Mehta's case in 1996, where the Supreme Court specifically gave orders to the government of UP and government of Union India, to safeguard the aspects of Taj Mahal at any cost. The central government demarcated an area of approximately 10,400 square kilometers in and around Taj Mahal called the Taj Trapezium Zone. It also directed approximately 292 industries operating in the zone to switch to natural gas and industrial fuel. However, several reports pointed out that the monument continues to face threats from the pollution and the MC Mehta case. In the MC Mehta case, the government was specifically instructed by the court to take every step possible to ensure the Taj Mahal is protected from any further deterioration or any further decline. So Taj Mahal remains still a very important monument, guys. See, Taj Mahal is India's pinnacle. Among all our monuments, Taj Mahal comes one of the first. It's one of the wonders of the world, and it becomes not only a duty but also an ethical responsibility for the Union government and the Archaeological Survey of India to do every effort possible to protect Taj Mahal at any cost. Has to be done. Now, another important current affairs aspect which has been in news over the last few days or few months, couple of months, is a topic about Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, a very important leader in the early days of Indian National Congress, later a militant nationalist, then eventually India's stalwart of freedom fighting, or somebody who ended up creating the Azad Hind Fauj and actually targeted the British at the core, where it hurts them the more. Bose used Indian prisoners of war to create Indian National Army. Recently, at the India Gate, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the statue of Subhash Chandra Bose. This was long overdue, guys. I mean, look, Subhash Chandra Bose is the respect to Subhash Chandra Bose was long overdue, and at India Gate, the statue was inaugurated. In 1919, Bose was selected to Indian Civil Service. However, he resigned as he believed that he could not actually serve the British and his motherland at the same time. Now, legend says that Bose actually passed the exam with rank 4, and he wrote the exam and passed the exam only because his father asked him. But then, when his father asked him to join the service, his answer was that I can't serve Mother India and British India at the same time. And Bose was highly influenced by Vivekananda's teachings. I mean, Bose considered Swami Vivekananda his spiritual guru, while Bose's political guru was Chittaranjan Das. Around my mid 1930s, Bose traveled to Europe. He researched and wrote the first part of his book, The Indian Struggle. It was in Europe that he met his later future wife, Emily Schenkel. Emily Schenkel was a German lady whom later he married when he went to Germany. Bose took over as the president of Indian National Congress in 1938, Haripuri. And Bose always wanted unqualified Swaraj, I mean, complete self governance. In 1939, Indian National Congress elections, Bose actually was elected against Pattabi Sitaramaya. We call this the 1939 Tripuri crisis. See, what happened is Subhash Chandra Bose was very critical about Indian National Congress forming provincial governments and running the provincial governments in India, because Bose believed that Congress should never be part of a government against whom Congress is working. So in 1938, when Congress formed governments, provincial governments after the 1937 elections, Bose was okay. Okay. But eventually in 1938, when Congress members did not prefer to resign and give up. In 1939, Bose, during the Congress presidency campaign, Bose actually blamed many senior Congress leaders as being selfish and power hungry, which naturally Congress Working Committee did not like. So CWC was against Bose, but Bose still won the presidency, and Bose was elected unanimously, defeating Pattabi Sitaramaya, Congress, and Gandhi's candidate. Now, the Congress Working Committee put a condition that until Bose does not apologize, they cannot work under Subhash Chandra Bose as the president. And Bose was not a person who was going to apologize, because Bose believed he always told truth. Bose believed that many Congress leaders had become power hungry, and which later period may, if you observe, was true. Eventually, in 1939, Bose quit from Congress presidency and he quit Congress completely. He was also removed from the Bengal Provincial Congress Committee, and Bose formed his own group called All India Forward Bloc, a faction within Congress that basically aimed at consolidating the political left within Congress. After this, from naturally, Bose was arrested. He was put in house arrest at Elgin Road House. Then from there, Bose, one fine day, he escaped to Kabul with the name Ziaullah as an insurance agent. From Kabul, he went to Germany under an Italian name called Italian Count called Orlando Mazzotta. And from there in Germany, he met with Adolf Hitler. Bose had very close contact with Klaus von Ribbentrop. Ribbentrop was German foreign minister, and with the help of Hitler, Bose did have big plans. And finally, Bose temporarily was able to create a POW force, or Indian force in in Germany, called Industrial Legion or Indian Legion in Germany. This was mainly made of Indian prisoners of war or British Indian soldiers who were defeated by the Germans. But eventually, Hitler's advice was that Bose actually will never be able to cross all the way through Turkey and go to India from Germany or from Europe. Instead, Hitler suggested Bose to go to Japan and make himself friend with Hideki Tojo and use Japanese support and get into India. That's how in 1943, Azad Hind Fauj, which was previously there, Rajbihari Bose had established it in 1942 with the help of Captain Mohan Singh. Captain Mohan Singh, Rajbihari Bose had previously established in 1942 an Azad Hind Fauj. 43 May, Bose went to Singapore, took over the responsibility of Azad Hind Fauj, revived it, and re-established. And this Azad Hind Fauj, or INA, Indian National Army, became a central power eventually in confirming India's national independence or British leaving India. Look, Bose had certain important contributions in India's national planning. Now, in terms of economic planning, Bose was a very good socialist. He was actually a socialist. He was not a capitalist. He espoused concrete economic planning and showed the way himself. And he was actually a very strong supporter of the central planning. Bose believed in women empowerment. In fact, he believed it, he followed it, and he implemented it. His Azad Hind Fauj actually had women combatants, not just women in medical service. In those days, women empowerment in force basically meant is women were put as nurses or doctors or support staff or kitchen staff. Not that. Bose actually gave women training in military warfare and guns. Like Captain Lakshmi Sehgal even became commandant for Rani of Jhansi Regiment, entirely women battalion or women brigade within Azad Hind Fauj. Bose also had a very strong leadership, guys. Azad Hind Fauj became a symbol of unity, heroism, of the people of India. Bose motivated the troops with his fiery speeches, like the famous quotation, "Tum mujhe khoon do, main tumhe azadi dunga." I mean, you give me blood and I shall give you your freedom. Remember, it was the soldiers of Germany, the first industrial legion, who gave the title Netaji to Bose. And when Bose went to Japan and he lived in South Asia, the Indian expatriates in South and Southeast Asia supported Bose politically, morally, economically. Now, when it comes to certain ideological differences, Bose, Nehru, and Gandhi had a lot of different understandings of the period in their period. Now, for example, the principle of nonviolence, Nehru and Bose both had very similar political leanings in terms of their thought, because both of these were socialist in thought. But often they found themselves frustrated by Gandhi's commitment to non-violence. In fact, even Nehru did at times express his frustration with the idea of non-violence, because Nehru thought you can't actually oppose violence with non-violence. And similarly, the Chauri Chaura incident, when Gandhiji unilaterally called off the non-cooperation movement, and just because of the outbreak of Chauri Chaura, Bose called it a Himalayan blunder. I mean, Bose was quite frustrated about it. Both Bose and Nehru expressed extreme disappointment and extreme anger on knowing that non-cooperation movement, which was at the peak of its perfection, was outright removed or cancelled by Gandhiji. Bose was also against this logic of struggle, choose a struggle strategy, because both Bose and Nehru believed into battle to confront. Initially both Nehru and Bose believed that British are not people with ethics. So basically expecting them to respect the struggle truce struggle strategy was, according to Bose, not very practical. Well, Gandhiji throughout the 1930s were reluctant to call for a mass movement. Bose and Nehru were consistent in their demand for mass movements. Eventually, remember that Bose entered anti-colonial movement or anti-British movement under the leadership of Gandhi only in 1921, and became the president of Congress in 1938-39. See, he had a lot of differences with Gandhiji and Nehru. No issues. Gandhi's high command. But remember that Bose always remained committed to the Gandhi's ideal of freedom and Congress's ideal of freedom. Also, when Bose formed the Azad Hind Fauj, he named 3 of his regiments after his gurus or Congress leaders: Gandhi Brigade, Nehru Brigade, Maulana Azad Brigade. In 1943, Subhash Chandra Bose was one of the first persons to refer Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi as the father of in the nation, Rashtrapita. Now, see, Bose always drives over political differences and personal differences to unity of the country. Gandhi, in spite of having very strong disapproval or disagreement with Bose on his political thinkings and political thought process, Gandhi always acknowledged the contributions of Bose in changing the loyalties of Indian soldiers, and Gandhi realized the importance Bose has given, because by altering the loyalty of British Indian soldiers towards the British government, Bose was able to break down the British government in India. Also, to commemorate his contributions in India's struggle, every year on the 23rd of January, Subhash Chandra Bose's birthday is celebrated across various parts of the country. Recently, a couple of years, 2 years back, we even celebrated 125th birth anniversary of Subhash Chandra Bose. Now, see, look, guys, that's it in this session of current affairs. Do keep following me on Unacademy. Unacademy, you can just search me by the name SRIVENR. And every Sunday morning, 11 o'clock, Unacademy is doing a test series called Combat. Look, they give 60 seconds, 50 questions. The 1 hour, 50 questions. The uniqueness about this Combat is you get a completely well-off combination of questions established or given by India's top educators, giving you a very comprehensive understanding and experience of how the prelims exam is. At the same time, you get your instant results plus an all India ranking. So plus You get discounts, subscriptions, free gifts for toppers in these exams. Do attend these combats, and they're entirely free. You can access these combat using just the code Shrivanar, SRIVENR. That's it from me today, guys, and let us meet in the next session of current affairs shortly. Bye bye.